I choked. Good morning, kids. It is actually it's not morning, it's afternoon, and we are going to be going over the Kelsey Fitzsimmions trial. I have not really been following it other than watching Mads and Media, and I got like a feel for it. I started watching the trial and I am horrified. Okay. The fact that it's a bench trial tells me that this is going to go really well for Kelsey. Have you guys, let's take a poll. Put a one in the chat if you had followed the Kelsey Fitzsimmons trial in Massachusetts out of Lawrence District Court. Let me know. There's only like 4 people here so far. But like, let's talk about it. Okay. I want to go over 3 of the most prominent testimonies that we have. We might have a special guest today if I don't have my phone and I don't have my vape. So that's going to be a problem. I am horrified. I am going to go over Justin Aylaian's testimony, and then we're going to go over Officer Noon and then Kelsey, because Kelsey just testified, and it paints a whole picture. I'm so glad you guys are with me. If you guys notice, I'm showing my new titties today. Do you like them? Do you like them? They're perfect. They're fucking perfect, kids. It is what I was looking for. Look at these. They're back to my old ones, but better. Waited so for these, and they're amazing. Sidebar, of course. Aki, it's always a pleasure to see you, baby. Did you know about the Kelsey Fitzsimmons trial? Let me know. We have more people on X than we do on YouTube. I don't have the tattoos yet. I guess that's in like 3 months. And I'd actually be able to show them on YouTube because they're not real. So, people, get ready. Get ready. All right, let's start out with the Justin Aylaian testimony. Okay, very little. Let's go over a little bit. So, Kelsey Fitzsimmons was a North Andover, Massachusetts police officer. She got pregnant by Justin Aylaian, who is a piece of shit. She had a 4-month-old baby. She had postpartum depression. She had guns in her house. Justin Aylaian by himself went and got a restraining order against Kelsey and wanted emergency custody of their 4-month-old son, who in total had only seen him for 30 minutes in his 4-month life. Put that in perspective, okay? We're going to watch him and see what a piece of shit he is. Kelsey got shot in the chest by one of her coworkers. They said that she pointed a gun at him when in actuality it's believed that she was trying to kill herself due to her postpartum depression and someone coming in and trying to take her baby. It is a tragic story, and we're going to go over it. If you are here on X, please say hello. Come over to YouTube. We have a good time. Anyone at Amy Boston, make sure you like the video. And I am partnered with YouTube, so I only have Cash App and Venmo. If you guys want to support my son and I in any shape, way, or form, it's not necessary. But my buy a coffee, Cash App, and Venmo is streaming at the end of the screen there. Don't feel obligated, but if you want to support my son and I, it would be greatly appreciated. I do this mostly for fun, just because I love cases. People always tell me, like, how can I support you? The only way you can support me is through Cash App, Venmo, or buy me a coffee. All of my names are at the bottom. I just want to also say that copyright disclaimer under section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, content, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, or research. All right. All the bad kids, come over here. I'm going to see my titties, and we're going to talk about fucking Kelsey Fitzsimmions, because this poor fucking girl, she hasn't seen her son in 10 months. And you're going to hear some shit about Justin Aylaian that makes you believe that he does not deserve to have this child and that she should go back. Caden, the same name as my son, heartbreaking, belongs with his mother. Yeah, right. Come over on Bad Kids. We're the Bad Kids Club. We are going to go over Justin Aylaian first. So here we go. This is the yesterday's testimony of Justin Aylaian. Get ready, kids. Buckle up. Buckle up. What happened? Here we go. Where'd he go? Where did Justin Aylaian go? Oh boy, there he is. I don't know why I can't. Here we go. Are you guys okay with this, or do you want him bigger? I don't know what happened. Wait, let me see if I can edit it. All right. Let's see. Maybe that worked. Save it. Remove, enter that item. Okay. Maybe it's this. Maybe I did it wrong. Save. Update. Well, no. Oh my God, kids, what am I doing? This is why I'm unprofessional. Yeah, we're just going to do this then. Okay, we're going to do this. God, Amy, get your shit together. Anyone over at X, come over to YouTube. Amy Boston. We have a good time. All right, kids. Are you ready for this? Are you ready? Wait a minute. All right. Here we go.
The testimony you're about to give in this cause now hearing shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God. I do. Thank you.
Good afternoon. You can have a seat.
Yes. Sir, in a loud, clear voice, can you please introduce yourself? Spell your first name and your last name.
My name is Justin Aylaian, Justin, last name Aylaian.
And how old are you, sir?
I'm 32,
And what town do you live in?
still Massachusetts.
Have you, schools did you go to there?
I went to Neshoba Regional for high school. That's a tri-town, so it's still Bolton and Lancaster. That's where I attended for grades 9 through 12.
What did you do after high school?
I immediately went to the university where I obtained a bachelor's in business management.
After you graduated from UNACE, what did you do?
After UNH, I did a cross-country road trip, traveled Southwest U.S. I got a job as a wilderness instructor at a camp for between the ages of roughly 15 and 18, and there was some early adults as well that were above 18. And they came to this camp for a variety of different problems, whether it was drug issues, whether it was anger issues, whether they had problems at home. They would come to this camp and we would help build confidence. We'd give them coping mechanisms. We would do that in a wilderness setting. We would teach them primitive living skills, and we would assist them in their transition, going back to their families or whatever they had after.
At some point, did you make your way back east?
I did, yes. I was out there for roughly 8 months, and I shortly came back after.
Okay. What did you do when you came back?
When I came back, I shortly thereafter in the.
Can I just point out that he was a part of the Southern Utah abusive camps? Okay. He worked for the Dr. Phil, Judy Hildebrandt fucking camps that abuse kids. Okay. This is the man that he is. Pointing that out.
Fall of 2017, I enlisted in the United States Army.
Okay.
I attended boot camp in Fort Benning, Georgia. I enlisted as an infantry. So I attended boot camp in Fort Benning, Georgia. Immediately after boot camp and advanced infantry training, I went to airborne school, which was also at Fort Benning. Right after I graduated from airborne school, I was moved to Fort North Carolina, and that's where I spent the rest of my tenure in the Army.
Okay. How long was that?
Altogether, I attempted to try to become a Green Beret, where I went to try to go for Special Forces. I went to, it's called SOPC, which is Special Operations Prep Course, prior to selection. And during that training, I was severely injured. I ended up hurting some ligaments and tendons and needed reconstructive surgery on my tendon. Charge in the I believe winter of 2019.
So then did you come back up here?
I did, yes. I returned back to Massachusetts shortly thereafter. After that, I worked several different jobs. I ended up at Fidelity for a while. I worked in their 401k department. And then shortly thereafter, I started going through civil service and applying to jobs for.
Eventually get one.
I got North Andover Fire Department in August of 2021. It was at that point I also went back to my fire science degree at
Dario Mass, we're going to go over Justin Aylaian's testimony and also Officer Noon's, because they're both fucking liars.
Maria College, which was obtained roughly a year and a half.
So what is your role in the North Andover Fire Department?
I'm a firefighter, EMT with the North Andover Fire Department. My job is to protect life and property. Ambulance. So on my shift, what we do is we work 2 weeks on the ambulance, and then that third week rotating off, we either go on the engine or the ladder truck.
Do you know a person by the name?
Oh my goodness. We have a local celebrity. Hold on. How do I get you here? Oh, it's my boy Scotty, retired NYPD. Hi, baby.
Hello, how are you?
I'm so happy you're here. So I am
Yes.
going over Justin and Noon. If you want to go over anything else, and if you want to talk, baby, talk all you want.
All right, I didn't see any of Justin's testimony. I've been running around the last couple of days. So the only ones I've seen, the only ones I've seen was I saw most of the lieutenant, who's a moron. I saw part of Noonan, and I saw a bit of Kelsey today. Everybody else in between I kind of missed. So I'm going at it from a fresh fresh angle, and I'm not going at it as somebody who I'll be nice. I'll just leave it like that. I'm going at it from a
No,
law
no, no,
enforcement
honey,
perspective.
listen. Scotty, you know you are one of my besties, okay? You're the one person in the FKR industry that I trust with my whole heart, and I truly believe that, and you know that,
No,
right?
I know.
So you can say whatever the fuck you want on my platform,
I know.
because okay, so you
I
say
know.
whatever you want.
I'm
Okay,
going.
I
You know
just
what?
want
I'm going to go with this. I'm going to go with this from a law enforcement perspective when it comes to their procedures. What I
love
think they
it.
did right, what I think they did wrong, and we'll take it from there.
I love that. Okay, great. So we're gonna start with Noonan, and then we're gonna
Okay.
start with Mr. Aylaian, and then we're gonna go to Noonan, and we will go from there. And I think that's a
Cool.
great perspective. We have a great guest today. If you guys ever don't know Scott, he's a retired NYPD detective, and
Yep.
he is one of my best buddies. So take into consideration he is coming from a law enforcement perspective, and it's not a mob perspective. So, and we welcome that here on this platform.
Just so you know, okay, I have had guns pointed at me by perps and by cops. So the situation with Noonan, I've had guns pointed at me by both. Okay, just so everybody
Right.
knows. Full disclaimer.
Yeah. Right. And our friend Kimmy just said,
I can.
ever the fuck you want, you say it, baby. Yes. Okay. So
Who
we're
else
gonna
is there?
start, okay?
Daria, Aggie. Hello.
Yeah, Daria Aggie's here. We have Ruth Ann. We have Daria from Mass. She's from here. We have a bunch of people. We have a lot of people on X, and we also have people on YouTube. So, baby, I want you to be exactly who you are and point out everything from your law enforcement perspective.
You got it.
All right, baby.
Name of Kelsey Fitzsimmions.
I do, yes.
How did you, how and when?
2002, she had reached out to me on Facebook.
Hi, my
She had
love.
seen a picture of me posted on the North Andover
Ruth
Fire
Ann,
Department
how are you?
page. And she was recently going to be getting hired as a North Andover police officer, and she reached out to me on Facebook.
Fair to say you developed a relationship with her?
We did very quickly, yes.
Okay. At some point, did it become more than casual?
Yep, it became more than casual very quickly. Both of us developed feelings very quickly, and that developed into a relationship very quickly as well. And it was about roughly 6 months after that we had initially met that that Kelsey and I had moved in together.
And where did you move?
She had owned a home at 125 Phillipsburg. My lease had ended that May of 2024, and at that point we decided that we were going to live together, and I wasn't going to renew my current lease that I had.
And I'm sorry, we're on the fire.
Over, yes.
Some together. You had a baby, and a boy. Okay. How old now?
He is 13 months old.
And what's his date of birth?
2/16/2025.
So he was born while you were living together at 125 Phillipsburg?
Yes.
At some point, July 28th, 29th, going into Monday the 30th. Okay?
Okay.
Did your relationship become strained in any way? Just yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. And as a result of that, did you decide to do something on June 30th, that Monday?
Yes, I ended up obtaining a restraining order.
Okay. Now I'm going to just step back for a second, and we're going to talk about that day. And how so?
It started in the morning. It was both texts and phone calls that we were going back and forth with each other. I had requested to see my son. I wanted to make sure.
Where were you on the 30th, on that Monday? Were you living at 125 Phillipsbrook?
That was my permanent legal residence, but I was at my parents' house that day.
When was you been there?
It wouldn't leave the day before our planned bachelor.
Okay. At any point, did you go back there to retrieve some items, the guns or anything like that?
Yes, the day prior, I had gone to obtain. I knew that I needed to pick up my firearms. I had feared for my son, and I thought that his life was in danger.
Hi, my sweet angel.
Object to any further questioning on this relative on 403 grounds and on relevance grounds to whether this is.
Seems very robotic.
The embedded, or it's just the two.
I'm just going to object since one at a time.
You own firearms.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
How many?
Roughly 9.
Scott, I'm pulling us up.
Good.
I put my screen on. You don't have to, baby. Scotty, what do you think? What do you think?
I've got.
Aren't they better? Aren't they better?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay, let's go back to the thing at hand. I'm just being silly.
I mean, we
Okay,
all know.
so
we all
I
know,
think.
Good.
I think that he practices from the day it happened. And because it's a bench trial, if it had been a jury trial, he's trying to get in all of the keywords to make the fucking jury believe that she was in imminent danger, and the judge ain't having it. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very robotic, and we all know both the defense practices with their people, the prosecution practices with theirs also. So,
Right.
It's expected. I mean, I'm not even taking into consideration all the text messages and the conversations we heard. That I noticed that in a bunch of other chats. Everybody's taking that into consideration. The judge doesn't know that. Everybody's losing their mind over what's going on.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think this is a bunch of tomfoolery. I really like to get into his sister because the sister is even worse, but it's going to be coming back in an hour. So we might have to reconvene, but we'll see. We'll see. All right.
And where were they kept in the home?
They were kept upstairs in the closet. There was a large rifle safe. Several of them were kept in there. And then I had one firearm that I would keep in our bedroom that was in a green chest directly. If you were to walk into the bedroom, it was on the left side in the green chest, directly next to the door frame, locked up in my green safe.
Okay, so if you walk into your house, into your home through the door,
Yes.
the front door, that's okay. Now, as you walk up the stairs, there are 2 rooms at the top.
Yes.
There's a landing and 2 rooms at the top, correct?
Yes.
The safe that you described.
And then the first foot that you would step into the bedroom, it was directly on your left, on the ground.
That was.
I've got questions already. If he wasn't living there, why was he leaving his guns there?
Black. Okay, I want to talk about that first.
If you were to go up the stairs and you were on the landing, you would take a left. You would go into that room right there, and then it would directly on.
Okay, and it's a right wing. It has a lock.
Let me
Yes.
stop.
I believe
Yeah.
there's a
Go ahead, babe.
If he wasn't living there, he's already out of the house at this point,
Oh,
right?
did you want me to stop? He is. He has only held his 4-month-old baby 30 minutes total.
Okay. How long has he been out of the house?
Since before she got pregnant, since before she had the baby.
Since before she had the baby. And he's
Yes.
leaving his guns at her house.
Yes.
That makes no
That's
sense
right.
whatsoever. Makes no
Right.
sense whatsoever.
So he's trying to tell them that they are in a gun box in a closet, but he He's saying that that the baby was in imminent danger and that she had guns and he had guns in the house. And months later, he's deciding that the baby is in danger.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Technically, once you're out of the house, they're not in your
Yeah.
possession.
Right. They're in her possession.
They're not in his possession. His guns are in her house, in her possession. It makes no sense. I
That's
can
right.
see a couple days, a week. Doesn't make any sense.
Right. That's right. That's right. He is not like, but when we can continue, he's gonna make sure that he mentions that all of his clothes and belongings are still there. Let's keep going.
Key padlock.
Do you know if the defendant had any firearms?
Yes.
How many?
I couldn't be exact.
Okay.
Several.
Handguns? Okay. When you went on the 29th to retrieve your handguns, where did you go?
I went into that gun safe, the side of the lane. I removed my firearms from there.
You talked about a green. You walk up the lane, the stairs. The landing is there. You go to the right, which is the bedroom. Correct.
Correct.
The other room is the one right to your left. You are just when you open that. Yeah. I'm going to show you what's been previously marked as exhibit number 40 first, okay?
Okay.
You see that screen?
I do, yes.
You recognize what that is?
Yes.
So describe where the photo taker, the picture taker would be standing in that home.
They'd be standing on the landing immediately as you go up to the stairs to the second floor in between the two rooms.
Okay, and that's the one on the left that we had been describing,
Yes.
correct? I'm going to show you what's been previously marked.
The one on the left, meaning the room on the left?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going to show you what's been marked as exhibit number 45. Can you see that?
Yes.
Do you recognize what that is?
I do, yes.
What is it?
That is the nursery. That's the closet with my clothes in it. And behind my clothes is the black rifle safe.
Okay. And that is, when you're standing on the landing, that is the room to the left. And the closet in that room is where the rifle safe is?
Correct.
And I'm sorry if I asked this already. Did you see any of the defendant's guns in that rifle safe?
Yes.
How many? Do you remember?
I don't remember exactly. I believe there was two, but I don't remember the exact amount.
Now, bear with me. I'm going to take it step by step. I'm going to show you exhibit number 49. Do you recognize what that is?
Yes, that is taken from the landing going up to the second floor on the right side. That's facing our bedroom with my green safe on the floor.
Okay, so the picture taker is on the landing, correct?
Correct.
The stairs are pretty much behind them.
Directly behind.
And I'm going to show you what's been marked as exhibit number 51. Do you recognize that room, first of all?
Yes, I recognize the room.
And that's the same room we were just talking about?
Yes.
The green safe is the box on the left corner of the picture?
Yes, on the ground, that the large chest, the box, yes.
Okay, so this is the safety you were talking about?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you know what that box is?
I do not know.
Have you seen that box before?
I may have, but I don't remember seeing it.
When you went on the 29th and retrieved your gun out of that safe, you didn't see any of the defendant's guns in that safe, correct?
I don't believe so, sir.
Do you remember that box being on top?
That box was not there, sir.
Now I'm going to turn your attention, now that we're turning your attention to, you had been calling and texting the defendant throughout that day, correct?
Yes.
Were there any plans attempted to be made by anyone?
She had made several attempts to try to get me to meet her at the Common via text message. She had reached out and said, can we meet at the Common at 2 p.m.? My initial response back to that was, for what? She then again tried to get me to reason with me to meet me at the Common again. And at that point I said I had no gas, there was no way for me to get there. And she tried to meet up at several points, and I told her that was not comfortable. I did not feel comfortable being alone with you. I wanted to make sure my son was okay, and I feared that his life was in danger.
He's so scared about his son's life, he left his guns at her house.
Right?
Where were you when the texting back and forth was happening?
I believe I was at my parents' house in Stowe.
Okay. At some point, did you make your way to North Andover?
I did, yes.
Why?
I felt that my son's life was in grave danger and that imminent harm may come to
He's
him
so
in the
full of
hands of
shit.
Kelsey.
Yep.
So as a result of that,
Well, then, there's an objection. Overruled, just as the state of mind, not the truth.
so where did you go?
I went to my friend Hunter Hassam's house. He was renting an apartment in North Andover at the time.
Did you call anybody to meet you there?
I don't know if I had made the calls or they had called me, but I had called my sister Courtney. I told her that I was going to North Andover. I had feared for my son and that I didn't know what was going to happen, but I had called her, and I was in contact with Kelsey's maid of honor, Katrina, and her bridesmaid, Michelle.
So Katrina, Michelle, Courtney, Hunter, and you?
Yes, sir.
All right. Are you all in Hunter's house right now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Without saying what was said between was there anybody else there? Because I have 5.
I believe Hunter's girlfriend at the time, she was there as well. I believe she was present.
Okay. Now, were you communicating when you were there with the defendant at all?
Yes.
Can you tell us about that?
There were text messages that were being exchanged just over Caden, our son, and just general messages back and forth.
Okay. Did you ever agree to go meet her at the park?
No, sir.
Okay. At some point, did you learn through the text messages anyway that she knew you were at Hunter's?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell us about that, please?
All of us were at Hunter's. We were all discussing the events that had occurred and what we could do to ensure Caden's safety, which is our son, but also Kelsey and everyone else around.
But I want to know what the events were. They never, ever come across to what the events were that made him think that his child was in danger. That never happens.
Not only that,
At one point,
why was he getting in touch with the bridesmaid and the other girlfriend? That seems kind of strange.
Strange, right? And her 2 best friends are aligning with him. I have questions.
Yeah, I have a lot of questions.
I have so many questions, Scott. I have so many questions. I'm painting my nails because we're going to the zoo. We're going to the circus and I'm making them look crazy. I apologize. Give me 1 second. Hold on. There we go.
Kelsey had messaged my phone.
Objection, Your Honor, non-responsive. I'm sorry. To the extent, Judge, that questions are open-ended, producing narrative answer, object. And, there's been all sorts of objections sustained about his answer. So I would ask the court to maybe direct the Commonwealth to make more specific questions so that it doesn't produce an answer that's half okay and half non-responsive and objectionable.
So the objection's overruled. If you could just try to just answer the question to the best of your ability, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, next question.
Thank you. Did she, meaning the defendant, say something to you to indicate that she knew you were at Hunter's?
She
Yes,
had,
yes or no?
yes.
Okay, what did she say?
I don't remember the exact verbiage, but it was, what are you doing? Something along the lines of, what are you doing at Hunter's? What is happening? Why are you with my friends? Something along those lines.
Okay. Now, without getting into the conversation that you had with your friends and with your sister, was a decision made for you to go somewhere to do something?
Yes.
Okay. And what was that?
To go to Lawrence to obtain a restraining order attached with temporary custody of Caden.
Okay. And did you do that? Where did you go? Remember?
I don't know the exact, it was family probate court, I believe it was, but I'm not 100% sure.
And who did you go with?
I went with my sister, Courtney.
Okay. Now, did you fill out paperwork while you were there?
I did, yes.
Did anyone assist you in filling that out?
Yes, my sister helped me, and then there was also someone with the court system. I don't know who the name was, but they assisted as well.
Fair to say you went in front of a judge, an order was issued, and then you left the building, correct?
Yes.
Okay. Where did you go when you left the building?
I immediately went to the North Andover Police Department.
When you got there, did you have a conversation?
Patrick,
without
I
saying what you said
agree.
With some of the police personnel there.
Yes.
Did you give them anything?
I believe I handed them the restraining order, and they said that it was already faxed to them.
Okay. At some point, did they leave?
They did. Yes. I waited at the police station. I went to the Kelsey Fitzsimmions home.
Okay. And at some point, did you get a call?
I did, yes.
From who?
I believe it was from Officer Daly. He had called to inform me to come to the residence and get custody of my son.
So did you?
Okay, Scott, as a police officer of many, many, many years, you were NYPD. You know the drill of very bad people. Would this ever happen to bring the culprit without a social worker to a dangerous situation that he presented and bring him into the house and rummage through her house to get things while she is supposedly, allegedly dangerous? Would that ever happen, baby?
Absolutely not. The first thing you want to do is keep them apart. Period. The end.
Right.
You're not even going to put them. You're not even going to put them in sight of each other. And if they are, you move one or you move both of them so they can't see or hear each other. That's number one.
Right.
That's
Right. Because
a
it would
stick of dynamite.
escalate, right?
That's a stick of dynamite. What they did. I mean, I already saw the lieutenant's testimony, and he's a clown. The lieutenant is a clown. He would not last in a real police department where there was real crime. There's no way.
Right.
He set this thing. Listen, we all know what happened. Justin lit a big fuse, okay? And he threw it in Landover PD's lap. And this lieutenant, for whatever reason, botched it, whether it was on purpose or he's an ass. He botched it.
Yeah. Per Massachusetts. Listen, I just want to put this out there. I am not against cops. I have a military brother that's been in military for the past 25 years. He's been to Iraq. He's been to Afghanistan. He does his job. He is a good man. There are more good cops than there are bad, but these cops make it bad for the good ones. They want nothing to do with them, and they know they're bad eggs. So it is not a blanket. All cops are bad. These people are incompetent. That does not make the entire force of America incompetent. I just want to say that. Scott,
it
who I
was
have
bad.
on my panel right now, is a good man and a good cop. And
It was
to
bad.
group them is disgusting. And please stop doing that.
That lieutenant screwed up big time.
Yeah. Hey, Crafty Chris. Good to see you, baby. Making is always my favorite. Hello. All right, let's go back.
Go.
I did, yes.
Did you go with anybody else?
My sister and I, we both went to the house. We took 2 separate cars.
Did you get there at the same time?
Yes.
What happened when you got there?
At that point, we both walked into the house. Officer Daly was downstairs. 2 officers were upstairs. And Kelsey's mother was holding the baby in the living room. At that point, I obtained Caden from her mother. And then we initially started to put him in a car seat. And then once he started crying, we figured it might be best, my sister and I, to get him ready for transport, to bring him back to Stowe outside.
Okay, so who carried Caden out?
He talks
My
like his
sister
kid is a
And what did
patient.
you do?
Right?
I asked if I could obtain some clothes while I was there. I just needed something so I could live day to day, as I had no clothes or any of my sons.
Was this the first time you went out, or did you go back in the house a second time, if you remember?
This was the first. I went out the first time, and then I came back in.
Okay, so the first time you went out, Courtney went out with Caden.
Yes.
What did you take, if you remember?
I believe I had a car seat in my hand.
Okay. At some point, you came back
Yes.
and you asked permission to do something?
Yes, I asked permission to get some clothes and a few clothes for Caden and some of his bottles and formula.
Okay, so where did you go?
I went down to the basement that was under construction at the time. There was no lights on, so I believe I had my camera, my phone out with the light on it, and I was searching for a suitcase.
Fireman without
that
a
I had down
flashlight
there.
going to a basement that he
Just to
knew he
throw
was
some
going to.
What?
A fireman knows he's going into a basement to retrieve stuff, and he knows there's no lights there, but he doesn't bring a
Yep.
flashlight. He's not too bright.
Right. Dude, do you see him run when the shots
Yeah.
got fired? Like a little
Yeah.
bitch.
And he was going to be a ranger? Yeah.
Right. He was
There's
gonna
no
be
way.
a Green Beret. Fuck
There's
out of my
no
face
way.
with that.
There's no way.
0. He probably hurt himself on purpose to get out of there.
Just so he can
There's
say
no
he
way he
tried
would have
out.
made it.
Yep.
No
Yep.
way. I know Green Berets, and they are like steel. Okay, they
Yeah,
are
he's-
steel.
He's far from
Never
it.
made it. I'm just gonna say it. He reminds me of an arrogant, junky mama's boy. My opinion.
Mine's not far off. I can tell you that.
You know what I mean? Like that's
Yeah.
what he reminds me of. I've seen enough of them. All
Yep.
right, let's keep
Same
going.
here.
baby.
At some point, was your attention drawn to something?
Yes.
What happened?
I immediately heard an officer's commands. I heard an officer scream out, "Stop, don't do it." At that point, I believe I had heard several gunshots ring out, and I heard Kelsey's mother screaming.
What did you do then?
At that point, I immediately ran through the garage, which was connected just to the basement.
Like a
There was
little
no wall there.
bitch.
Again, we're putting up a wall,
That's
so
an
I ran
understatement.
straight through there. I fumbled with the lock for a second to get it open, as there was no light down there. As I got it open, I threw the door open, and I ran around the side of the house, screaming for my sister to run.
And so where did you go? Did you see your sister?
I believe I saw her briefly. I did see her running down past the school that was adjacent to our property.
With Caden?
Correct, yes.
And so what did you do?
At that point, as I saw my sister run, I knew that we needed a vehicle for transportation to get out of there, to get out of the area as fast as possible. Fearing for my son's life, for my sister's life.
Sustain, just what you did.
I got into my vehicle. I believe I had made eye contact very briefly with Officer Houston, who was grabbing his medical bag out of his patrol vehicle. I got into my truck, and I immediately pulled a U-turn and drove where I saw my sister running from. Once I got to the other end of the school, I had stopped my vehicle, and at that point, I didn't see which direction my sister had gone. So I had stood outside my car yelling her name repeatedly. I wasn't sure where she was or if she was okay. And then
At some point, did she appear?
she did appear. She came running out behind another house across the way, and she came running over towards me.
And what happened when she got to you?
She got in the vehicle, and then we quickly drove down the road to get away towards Mass Ave in North Andover.
And where did you eventually go?
We eventually made our way back to Stone, Massachusetts, my parents' residence.
Thank you. Let me just have 1 second.
Yes.
Were the guns that you and the defendant had, were they ever kept in the basement?
No,
Is there a gun safe in the basement?
there was never a gun safe in the basement.
Did you have a way of remote?
So wait, you have a bunch of guns with no gun safety box for your guns, sir? That sounds like a felony.
Yeah, it probably is up there.
The surveillance cameras.
I could look at them.
Did you before you went over?
Remotely accessing them, I was able to view them, yes.
Okay. When you did you see the defendant's car in the driveway?
No,
Okay. Is that where she usually parked?
yes, always.
Okay. And when I asked you that question, what time frame were we talking about?
During the day, what time?
Yeah.
It must have been roughly 5 o'clock, 5 p.m.
Thank you.
Okay, cross-examination?
Here we go.
Good afternoon, sir.
Good afternoon.
So a lot of talk about gun safes. The safe that you mentioned with your rifles in it, that was in the baby's room, correct?
Correct, yes.
And that's the room as you go up the
Is he
stairs to the
kidding?
left, you hit the landing, you go make a left, you're in the baby's room, correct?
Correct.
And then you visited the house on the 29th to retrieve your guns, right?
Yes,
And it's fair to say that you spent about 60 seconds with the baby.
I would say that's not true.
Kelsey had to tell you, do you want to see your baby? Do you want to hold your baby? And you held your baby for about a minute. Isn't that right?
I was at the property for roughly 30 minutes.
Answer my question.
That's the question.
Right.
Is that true?
Answer it.
Yes,
So with respect to the gun safe in the bedroom to the right, up until then, that was your and Kelsey's bedroom, correct?
correct, yes.
And there was a green safe in that bedroom, right?
Yes, sir.
And on the 29th, you went to that bedroom and you retrieved some of your firearms from that green safe, correct?
Yes, sir.
In fact, that was your grandfather's safe, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
And you wanted to take that with you, didn't you?
I did, yes, sir.
And you took Kelsey's guns out of that safe and you put them on the bed so that you could take only your
The
gun.
gun safe, sir.
Isn't that what your intention was until Kelsey asked you not to?
I did leave the gun safe, yes, sir.
You
So
left
hold
it
on a
because
minute.
Kelsey asked you
So
to leave
her
it.
guns are in the
She needed a
safe with
place to
his
take your
guns.
right?
He
That was my
takes
intention, sir.
her guns
Just go
out,
back a minute.
leaves them on a bed, and then leaves with
Yeah.
his guns, but left her guns out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, number one, he should
Yeah.
be arrested.
Like a fucking
Number one-
prick.
Yeah.
He knew
number
what he
one,
was
should
doing.
be arrested for touching her guns. That's number one. I don't care whose safe it is. You don't leave handguns or any
Amen.
guns laying outside in the open for somebody to take.
Mm-hmm. Baby,
North
even
Andover,
if
this
it's a
is your
4-year-old,
fireman.
if it's listen, this is the thing. So I'm just gonna say it. I am all for guns, okay? To protect yourself. If you are a cop, you like I have family members that have gun safes and they keep their gun safes in lock boxes and they shoot and they have driving ranges. I believe in guns. But this man is a
He's totally
menace
irresponsible.
to a
He's
woman
totally
who he
irresponsible.
claims is mentally ill. He
Yeah.
knew what he was doing.
Yep. He's a moron.
Right? Am I wrong? He's a
moron.
moron. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Then why did you go into the basement? Did you see him rummaging through the basement and then run like a little bitch? Okay, we're getting there, baby. We're getting there. Scotty, I'm so happy you're here with me, my bestie.
No, I'm happy to be here.
Because you know what? We are free thinkers over here. You can say what the fuck you want.
Oh, I'm going to.
Yeah, I
You said
know.
that you went into that safe, you didn't see any other guns, you took your guns and you left. Isn't it true that you took Kelsey's guns, which you'd see in the safe, you put them on the bed, and you tried to take the safe?
I do not remember if I took any of her guns out of the safe, sir. I don't remember seeing any of her firearms in that gun safe. I only
He's
remember
full of
seeing
shit.
them in the black safe.
So,
He's
I
full
mean,
of
you were
shit.
very interested in getting your stuff out on occasion. This is your chance to get your grandfather's gun out. And
Removing my firearms, that was secondary because it was holding my safe, and it meant a safe transport way to move that firearm out of the house in a secure manner.
And when you left,
Amen,
you left
Chris.
Kelsey with her firearms, and you took yours, and you went back to still with your father, correct?
Yes, sir. I took my firearms.
Now, you said you were, just want to get it right. You said that you work at the North Andover Fire Department, is that right?
Yes, sir.
Do you work there presently?
Yes, sir.
Are you on the schedule?
No, sir.
Why not? He opened the door.
Oh, he's coming in. You're suspended, bitch.
Yeah, I'll hear you sidebar.
So wait, I'm gonna pause this for a minute. So I just want to give an overview for people who have just come in and don't really know the thing. So Kelsey had a baby. She was diagnosed with postpartum depression. This man left her and only saw his baby for 30 minutes and 4 months. He went out and got a restraining order against her, saying her baby was at risk. He sent cops that she worked with because she was a North Andover police officer. They showed up at her house. She tried to pull a gun on herself because her baby was taken away during postpartum depression. And if anyone has ever dealt with postpartum depression, it is the worst thing, the worst mental illness that you can ever have. I didn't have postpartum depression. I had postpartum anxiety, and I could not be away from my son. I didn't want to hurt him, but I was so paranoid about him, like his sleeping, his living. I had a traumatizing pregnancy. And so for him to go and get these 3 big officers to go to her little house and to take her baby and let him come to the house and take him from her without a social worker was their first fucking problem. And then you have someone she worked with that shot her in the chest because she was trying to off herself due to postpartum depression. And they are trying to convince them that it's manslaughter. She was trying to point a gun at a cop, and that's why he shot her. Because of him, because of his lies. And he is a known junkie. To me, he's a junkie, arrogant mama's boy. I said what I said. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I got one for you before you start again. All right.
Go.
We all know how long weed stays in your blood and in your hair, right?
Yep.
When they do the test, the weed's in your system. So what could you possibly smoke that would be out of your system in 4 days?
Nothing.
Oh, no, there is one.
What?
Oh, there is one. Dave Chappelle did a skit. Rocks.
Oh, crack?
It's out of your system in 4 days.
Really?
It's out of your blood in 4 days. Yep.
I mean, he looks like a junkie. I'm saying it. Listen, as an ex-addict, he looks like a junkie. He just does. And Brado's gonna say it. Oh my God. Let's keep going, bud. Oh, this is a sidebar because he opened the door.
See, it was good that Kelsey had the video, but the problem with that video is that's going to backfire about her judgment
Yeah.
because so she knew that he was doing this and that she was still with him. She was allowing him to be with her child unsupervised. Her judgment is shot.
Right.
I hate to say it, but I
Yeah.
foresee big problems in family court. That's why I said
Right.
neither one of them
So
should be.
as a person, right. So I don't believe that either of them are not at fault. As a woman who decided to be a solo parent to protect my son's emotional, mental, and physical safety, um, the fact that she was willing to do X, Y, and Z. When you are under postpartum depression, you don't know whether you're coming or going. And she wanted her son to have a baby, her father, so bad that she was willing to do anything, and he fucked her over.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that she's completely innocent, and I'm not saying that anything like that, because there are extenuating circumstances. It's not a good opinion, but she was she was not in the right state of mind, and he took advantage of this. He only held that baby for 30 minutes of his life for
That's
4
insane.
months, and then tried to get a restraining order against him and showed up with the police, which is not legal. They're supposed to have a social worker, DCF, come and get them and then retrieve the baby and give it to him. The cops allowed him, I'm not saying anything about the cops, but they allowed him and his sister to go there. And that escalates everything.
Yeah,
If my baby daddy show up at the house and try to get my son, I can't imagine what I would do.
Exactly.
You don't know what you're going to do until that situation. Do I believe that she's 100% innocent? Absolutely not, because there was a lot of things going on. But what happened in this case was not done properly, just like the Karen Reed thing, because everybody knew each other. He knew all of the when he went to the lobby of the police station, he knew all of the acronyms. OIC, officer on duty, or chief, you would know better than me. What's it called? Chief on duty, COD.
Officer on duty.
Officer on duty. Yeah, so
officer
he knew all the acronyms, and they knew him from calls. So it's special treatment. You know what I'm saying? It's not about the cops. It's about believing them because they know each other and they think that they're a good person. But deep down, this man had bad intentions, in my opinion. Do you agree?
In my opinion, you're dead on, but there's a little bit more to it. I did some digging.
Yeah, and let's talk about it.
And his family's very powerful. They are very powerful friends.
Yeah. And look at the Karen Reed, right? It was all about who knew each other.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah. And I'm going to reiterate, I am pro-military. I am pro-cops. I am pro everything. But there are people like these pieces of shit that make a bad name for people.
Absolutely.
Right? Like, I have a brother right now that's active military for 25 years. And I had to text my brother and go, Tom, are you going to Iran where I'm not going to know where you are, fighting a war that doesn't belong to us? Do you know how scary that is? Like, there are freaks everywhere, but there are so many good ones. Like you.
Not me. I'm innocent.
Yeah. No, you are a good person. You were a good cop. You did it for the right reasons. These motherfuckers are corrupt.
It's embarrassing is what it is. I mean,
honey,
it really
yeah.
is.
But you know what? You don't own that because you know what you are. You're a good cop. And we need more of you, baby.
You're not presently
Thank you. I appreciate it.
able to work for that department, isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
And the reason you were is because you have been caught on video many, many times using drugs that are in violation of your department and the town policy, correct?
Allegations were placed against me, and the town has a responsibility to do their due diligence and investigate that matter.
So that's
Yeah.
yes?
Yes, sir.
I wonder how long it took him to
When
memorize
did
that
that
answer.
go into place?
Right.
I don't have the exact date, but roughly a week or two ago.
Do you know the duration of this suspension or whatever you want to call it?
Sustain.
Oh, sorry.
Let's move on, Mr. Brado.
Sure.
The only reason he got
Nothing
suspended
further.
was because of the outpouring online. That's it.
Yeah,
All right, thank you
I
very much,
agree.
sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And once the video came out, they had to do something. They're playing cover your ass, just like North Andover PD did with this case.
So, okay, do you want to go over Noonan's?
We got. I actually got it cut out at 2:30.
Oh,
I gotta
bummer.
have some-
Okay.
Yeah, but I'll be back later tonight, or if you want to pick it up tomorrow afternoon, whatever.
Yeah, I'm good tonight. If you let me know when you're ready and we do it.
You want to do it tonight? We could do it tonight.
Sure. Yeah. How
do it
about
tonight.
like, could you do like 9 o'clock when Caden's sleeping?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, cool. So me and you, I'm gonna make a stream and we're
Yeah.
gonna go over Noonan and all this stuff. Okay,
we'll
so
do Noonan.
guys. Yeah, so
let's
guys,
do the important stuff tonight. Let's do
Yeah,
Noonan. Let's do Noonan. Let's
Yeah.
do Kelsey. All right.
yes,
Let's get
I
to the
agree.
let's get to the meat and potatoes.
I love that. So I'm gonna set up a stream and for
Yeah.
9 o'clock tonight, and me and Scott will tear it apart and we will
Yeah.
talk about all the things that a lot of YouTubers won't.
Yep. Sounds good.
All right. So if you guys want to be here, come back tomorrow. Come back tomorrow. Come
Tonight.
back tonight at 9 o'clock. Me and Scott, we are going to go over everything. Okay. And I look forward to it. Scott, thank you for joining me. I love
My
you.
pleasure. My pleasure.
All right. All right.
I will
I'll
see you
see you
tonight.
then. All right. Bye, guys. Thank you for
Bye.
watching. And we will pick this up tonight at 9. Bye, guys.